And then what's going to happen is weird stuff will arise as you meditate. And you will discover, perhaps in a shocking way, that meditation is not all rainbows and butterflies the way you initially assumed. Some of the stuff that comes up is freaky, weird, downright alien, and very negative sometimes. And it can blindside you and sabotage your meditation habit. So what I'm going to talk about here is the dark side. Stuff that's counterintuitive. Stuff that you would not expect to arise from a simple meditation habit. So what is this stuff? Well, there's a whole list. Now, before I tell you all this stuff, I want to preface it by saying that you're not necessarily going to encounter all this. So don't go hunting for it, because a lot of this stuff can be negative. And if you don't experience it, that's fine. These are like side effects, right? If a drug has side effects, that means it can happen. It doesn't mean that it will happen to you. But if it does happen to you, a lot of this stuff is very common. Don't be surprised. You've been warned. So firstly, expect hyper annoyance and crankiness. This is very common. And usually it comes in spells. Like you're meditating for weeks, everything's going great. You're becoming more calm and more peaceful. And then you reach 1 week in your meditation routine where you're just annoyed by everything, hyper annoyed by little tiny insignificant things that you would think you're totally beyond, like the air conditioning or the humming of your refrigerator will start to annoy the hell out of you, or maybe your cat or your dog will start to annoy the hell out of you for no reason, no good reason. And that might take you by surprise. Or you just become cranky and you have this kind of spell of crankiness that lasts for a few days or for an entire week or maybe for an entire month. Also expect hyper-judgmentalism. When you become hyper-judgmental of everyone around you, especially people that are close to you, like your family, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your children, and so forth. Expect that. That will come about in spells. Again, might last for a few days, might last for a week, might last for a whole month. And I don't want you to be blindsided by that. Expect wild mood swings. Up and down and up and down. Mood swings that can last from days to weeks, where you feel terrible or you feel really high, like you're on cloud 9, because you've been meditating now and you're getting growth and everything's feeling wonderful. And you think that that's just how it is now. That's your new level. You think you've arrived. But then a few weeks pass and then you crash into some deep depression and you wonder to yourself, no, I lost it. What happened? I thought I arrived. But see, that was just a wrong expectation. The fact is you will have many wild mood swings throughout your entire meditation career. So get used to that. Also expect feelings of loneliness to come over you sometimes. Expect feelings of disgust, anger, and frustration. And these can vary from very mild forms of these emotions to very, very heavy forms where you just feel like you're the most lonely, isolated human being on the entire surface of the earth. Or you're just completely pissed off and angry about the political party and what it's doing to the country or whatever, right? So this stuff will happen to you if you're going to be meditating for years. Expect crying. Sometimes you will cry. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Expect insomnia. Sometimes you're going to have these manic episodes where you have a lot of energy come up and you're not going to be able to fall asleep because you're excited either by new possibilities or you're agitated or anxious about something. That might happen. Expect depression and meaninglessness to wash over you. I can almost guarantee that if you're going to meditate for longer than a year, that you will be hit by some serious spells of depression. And that's totally normal. That's par for the course. And you will at times feel like your entire life is meaningless. Everything you've done is meaningless. Your family is meaningless. Your career is meaningless. Your relationships are meaningless. Even meditation is meaningless and self-improvement is meaningless. All of this, You'll experience all this stuff. This is just par for the course. Also expect to have interference with your work and your career from your meditation habit. You're going to be meditating, and then all of a sudden you realize, like, my work and my career, it's so meaningless. Why am I putting all this effort and all this emotional labor into it? And so you might want to quit your career, or you might get disgusted by it or whatever. That's totally normal. And usually that comes and it passes. So the trick with all these things is to not get triggered by them and then to make some sort of rash move as a reaction against just this emotional energy, this negative emotional energy, or this fear or this self-doubt that's bubbling up from inside of you.